Have you ever wondered how the top 1% of YouTubers grow their channel to 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, heck, even 1,000,000 subscribers in what feels like only a couple of months? In this video, I'm gonna show you the exact blueprint that the top YouTubers out there today use to grow their YouTube channels and how you can do the same thing in 2025 without it taking months or even years, without needing to buy a bunch of gear or hire people, and without having to spend countless hours every single week. But first, let me show you how, when I implemented this for some of my clients, well, it changed everything. Like Chad, who I took from 2,000 subscribers to 40,000 subscribers in less than 90 days, or Josh here, whose videos began to consistently hit the 1, 3, even 5 million view mark when I came in and implemented these strategies that I'm about to teach you. But when we look at the YouTube workflow, it's pretty simple, right? We have an idea, we record that idea, then most people, what they do is just come up with a thumbnail as they post said idea. And then what they do is click publish, right? Then they wonder, well, why don't I have any views or subscribers or traction? Well, despite what you might think, YouTube growth doesn't happen so easily, or by chance for that matter. Then you might say something like, okay then, why do people like Sam Solik or William Brown get so many views and subscribers when they clearly don't try at all? Right? Well, I'll tell you the one secret as to why creators like Sam Solik or William Brown are getting so many views and subscribers without seeming like they're trying at all. But first, you need to understand how to properly structure the workflow of a YouTube video. Now, do you know what psychology is? Probably. But what about data? Do you know what data is? I'm sure you do as well. Did you know that you can use psychology and data to almost guarantee that someone clicks onto your video and watches all the way through every single time? But you see, it all starts with the hook. And no, I'm not talking about the hook of your videos, as in the first line you say to get people interested. I'm talking about the very, very first hook. The one that gets people to click onto your videos in the first place. The title and the thumbnail, also known as the packaging. See, that's the very, very first thing that we need to focus all of our attention on when deciding to come up with a YouTube video, right? If we want to create content with the goal of growing on YouTube. And there are two reasons why. And without understanding these two reasons, well, you're guaranteeing failure. See, when you scroll through YouTube, 99% of the time, the reason that you decided to even click on any video that you decide to click on is because the title and thumbnail piques your interest. When you stop scrolling to take another look, there are subconscious questions that come into your mind as you're looking at that thumbnail and title. For example, when you clicked on this video right now, some of the subconscious questions that you may have asked yourself when looking at my thumbnail and title was, well, what's the roadmaps and steps on how to grow on YouTube? Or maybe you asked yourself, how long will this process take? Or will I need to invest any money into this? So you see, when you come up with your packaging, the idea, the title, the thumbnail, before anything else, you need to be able to ask yourself the questions that your audience will likely have when they see that title, that thumbnail, that packaging, right? And by brainstorming what those questions could be before writing your script or working on the video, you ensure that you're going to deliver material that's exactly what your audience wants to see, in turn giving you exceptional retention on your videos. In fact, I did this strategy with this exact video that you're watching right now. I came up with my title, my idea, and my thumbnail concept, and then I asked myself before I worked on anything further, when people see this packaging, what questions will they have? Then after some brainstorming, I wrote those questions down, which for this video were the questions that I brought up just a second ago. Some of the questions I knew people would have when they looked at my packaging was, oh, well, what are the steps on how to grow on YouTube? How long will this process take me? Will I need to invest any money into this if I want to grow on YouTube? And then to ensure that I got you to keep watching, I addressed those questions right away. When I said at the start of this video, if you remember, I opened this video up with the lines, video, I'm gonna show you the exact blueprint that the top YouTubers out there today use to grow their YouTube channels and how you can do the same thing in 2025. And then I said, without it taking months or even years, without needing to buy a bunch of gear or hire people, and without having to spend countless hours every single week, right? And guess what? You're still watching. But despite that being some of the best YouTube advice you've possibly ever received, what if the viewer doesn't click at all? Right? Then everything I just told you was completely useless. Which is why it is super important to understand how to come up with outlier YouTube ideas. And outlier thumbnails. But first, imagine you had a YouTube channel with only 50 subscribers. You post a video and that video gets 20 views. Then the next day you post another video and that video only gets 18 views. Then the next day you post another video, but this time the video gets 1 million views. That's what I call an outlier, and that's what an outlier is. It's a video that performs significantly better than any other video on your channel in comparison to your other content or your channel size. But how do you actually find those outliers, right? How do you actually find it so that you can implement them for your own channel? Despite it being a simple process, it's one that is heavily gatekept from some of the biggest creators on YouTube because this is like their secret sauce. But I just started this channel from scratch with the intention of growing it from 0 to 30,000 subscribers in less than 90 days to prove it's not luck. So to ensure I secure your subscribe, I'm going to pull back the curtain and reveal exactly how to do this. How I've done this for my clients and having worked with some of the biggest YouTubers out there, what I've seen behind the scenes. In this strategy of finding outliers to grow your own channel, it's one that I use with every single client I work with to generate hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions of views. To find outlier video concepts and thumbnails, I like to do something called niche hacking. I go to YouTube and I search a specific keyword in the search bar. For example, video editing. And then I try to find videos that have a lot of views in comparison to their subscriber count. Also, if I see a similar video topic done multiple times and they all performed really well in comparison to other videos that they've posted, that's also a clear sign that this video is probably an outlier. But the problem is this process can become extremely time consuming, which is why I personally use vidIQ's completely free Chrome extension. Because when I scroll through YouTube, I see this outlier score right next to the creator's video, and it tells me how much better it performed versus other videos. And this is incredibly helpful because it saves me from actually having to enter into their YouTube channel account or profile and actually have to look at other videos and their subscriber count. vidIQ basically does it all for you. And this isn't a sponsored video, it's just a helpful free tool that you could use to speed up the process as well. But what about finding thumbnails that are proven to perform? Well, it's a very similar concept to coming up with video ideas, right? In fact, imagine I'm making a video about riding a unique bicycle. How would I go about finding a thumbnail with a proven outlier concept? Well, I would follow the same concept that we followed to find a video idea outlier. And it's essentially by niche hacking or reverse engineering, finding what's done well or performed well and making it unique or applicable to our niche. So I do a similar thing. I'd take the keyword, but instead of just any keyword, I'd take the keyword of the topic that the video is about. So in this case, a unique bicycle, well, the keyword there is bicycle, right? So I'd go into the search bar YouTube and I'd type in bicycle. And then from there, I would go to the filters option. I'd click on that and then I'd sort by view count. And then I would scroll until I saw a cool looking unique thumbnail with a ton of views. Like this one, for example, it has multiple millions of views, clearly showing that it's an outlier concept. And interestingly enough, there is actually a creator who came out with a video, one of his best performing videos, in fact. And what was his thumbnail? It was almost the same thumbnail. See, this YouTuber, just like most of the top creators, did outlier research and found a proven concept, and then they implemented that proven concept for their own thumbnail, resulting in a top performing video idea and thumbnail for their channel. And in this case, for this creator's channel at the time. But is all this work completely useless when we have creators like Sam Solik or William Brown even, who come out with content and post thumbnails that clearly were not done by any outlier research? Clearly, they didn't even try, yet they still generate a lot of views. Well, to understand why their thumbnails work, we need to understand only one thing. But first, imagine me talking about how to grow on YouTube without having proof that I've actually grown other clients' YouTube channels. Or imagine someone telling you how to make $10,000 a month when clearly they've never made $10,000 a month. They may be in a beat up apartment in the background and they're wearing old clothes, right? Or one of my favorites, imagine someone who's immensely out of shape trying to teach you how to lose weight and gain muscle, right? If any of these were the case, you wouldn't watch. You probably wouldn't even have clicked in the first place. But that's the thing with Sam Solik and William Brown. See, both of them show massive amounts of credibility. See, that's why for the majority of creators, especially new creators, this approach of just releasing unedited and unplanned videos and thumbnails, it doesn't work. The reason it works for people like Sam Solik or William Brown, for example, is because in his packaging, he has instant credibility, but a lot of it, so big that he doesn't even need to try. For example, take this video that he posted, right? He's telling us right away in the title, here's how I would make $10,000 a month if I had to do it again. Okay, right away, if you don't make $10,000 a month and you want to, well, curiosity is instantly built, but something subconsciously is happening as well. Notice with him specifically that we see on his wrist, he has a nice Rolex. We also see he's in a nice high-rise apartment. We also see that he has a ClickFunnels award on his wall, which only people who make over $1 million with ClickFunnels get that award. You see, it's all of these small things that most of us can't use to get people to click. Yet these small 1% of creators, like Sam Sulek or William Brown, they do have these things and they use it to their benefit. And this is why that method for most of us won't work. And these strategies that we went over in this video, they do work so well for the majority. Again, that kind of content that Sam Sulek and William Brown post, that only works for that top 1% of people. See, there are so many small and unimportant things to understand when starting a YouTube channel or when growing a YouTube channel. But if you understand and implement the few big strategies that we just learned, mainly being basing all of your content off of outlier research, finding what's done well and implementing it into your own content, then I can pretty much guarantee you that the videos you release will do better than you could have ever imagined, and you'll grow way quicker than you ever thought you could. But everything I just told you is completely useless because there's still 3 things that if you don't understand or fix, then everything I just told you won't actually work. One of those things, and the most important, is how to tell better stories in your videos to get people to watch for longer. But luckily for you, if you want to learn how to do that, then you could click on this video right here.